We are live. It is 3:04 p.m. Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:04 p.m. BST in the UK.
Hey,
Nomad Chat Project with Sam and Joe coming to you live on, holy cow, it's April 30th, 2023.
Oh, yeah, wow.
May. And, of course, if you're a big fan of NSYNC or Justin Timberlake, it's going to be May. That's tomorrow, folks, because, that's meme-worthy. And it's also 4:05 Eastern Time because we got Darren coming to us from our happy neighbor from the north. So how's it going, sir? Welcome to the show. It's been a couple months since you had it on. We thought we'd get you back on. And I, as your esteemed stupid host, forgot. Yeah, because that's a thing. So,
I wonder if he's going to mention it or not.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to sit there and try to walk past the fact that I'm a moron. No, absolutely.
I would love to tell you that I was fully prepared that day and I was ready to go, but I completely forgot about it as well. So it actually worked out okay.
Oh, it's perfect then. It was perfect.
Yeah, so that's cool. It was like 15 minutes into the show. It kind of dawned on me. I was like,
oh shit.
No. And then I said, oh. And then I look over and I see the text from Darren. I was like, well, that's a bad look. Okay, man.
Well, it was funny because I was at my son's baseball game and I saw the post come up that you guys were live, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, when I was supposed to go on, so I scrolled through Sam's messages, and I was like, shit, that's today. So that's why I sent you a message. I'm like, am I supposed to be on?
Yes, yes, you were, and I dropped the ball, and then of course, the DT wants to go ahead and again because we're going to jump on that trope that Sam's 900 years old. Yes.
Nice.
Sean's in the chat. So life with AT&T is good. However, it's not working at that Oppo Find N. I can't seem to get text seem to work okay, but I cannot get a call. So and I went to my parents' house and they lived closer to St. Louis and it worked fine. So it's definitely because how much damage will spare, but I think it's not enough. And I think probably on that Oppo it might be missing a band or two. Where it's just
it will be
text and SMS, but for the calls it just doesn't have enough gas to make a call. So
are you getting 5G, Sam?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it makes no sense. And I reached out to Mint, and of course that was 2 weeks ago. And then I went to T-Mobile and just went in store, brought the phone, put a SIM in it, and got their service, and even transferred my number. Same thing. When I was out and about, worked fine. I got home, worked for about an hour, and then couldn't get a call. So. Now, in my Moto, it works fine. I've had this T-Mobile SIM in here.
Right.
It's been fine. I every once in a while I drop a call, or every once in a while it drops.
It's got to be them bands that are missing then, because it can't just be where you are.
Because I put it in my Duo, works fine.
Yeah.
The funny thing is I put it in my Huawei, and both SIMs work, but it's kind of spotty. It drops a lot more. It doesn't show the same single trick, so it's all good.
Again, it could have a band.
I had the N2 Flip, which Sam, and I could not get 5G here, no matter what I did. I just wouldn't work here. Everything else worked fine, and it's a great device, but I just could not get. I tried everything to get it to work, just didn't want to connect for whatever reason.
Yes, I know, and so I don't know. I mean, so I'm going to go ahead and package it up and then send it back out to Gigi tomorrow, probably, or Tuesday. There's no sense of. I mean, I love the phone; it's fantastic, but it's kind of disappointing that I can't use it. And yes, I did get a haircut. I got them all cut, and Joe just put some extra. I don't know, it's spackle,
some extra spruce
glue, or I'm not sure what he puts in his hair. He looks good.
He's looking sharp. He's looking sharp.
Yeah, he always looks sharp.
You.
Me, I
go with that hat.
Right, I don't care. I just, and whatever.
You guys look good. It's all good.
Scoop.
Spurs, still Spursy. Love that scoop. Yep. Love that.
Can't help it. They somebody showed me was it? I guess it was either TikTok or Instagram Reels or something like that. It was a guy was ordering something at a bar. The guy was making fun of the fact he's a Spurs fan. I don't know what it was. So. Apparently, So Spurs still being Spursy, and apparently the St. Louis Cardinals are turning into the Tottenham Hotspurs. They suck. Oh my God, they're terrible.
Oh really?
Nice. Oh, that's a bad season. Oh yeah, they're already 10 games out and they're in last place in the Central. Yeah, it's not a good season. So far, they're not doing good. So anyway, we're not going to talk about baseball because that's depressing. So anyway,
the Blue Jays are doing fantastic. If we're going to start talking about baseball,
the Blue Jays are doing pretty good, and they've been pretty good for a while now. They're a pretty solid franchise. I know in the '90s when I was young, they had the Joe you know, oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Joe, I want to say Joe Morgan. I know that's not it. They had really good teams in the early '90s. When they had Paul, I think I had Paul Molitor and a couple of Joe Carter.
Joe Carter. Oh, classic Blue Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I was kind of going up to Toronto, and I've been to the Sky Dome and two games. It's a really nice stadium. Although the whole hotel is weird, and people just standing there like they're standing. I don't think anybody's standing there naked, although probably I would. But they're just people standing there like in the windows, looking out, watching the game. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Well, funny story. So my son's like baseball obsessed, right? So he thinks he's going to be a Blue Jay, which I mean, sure, fantastic. Right. But he wanted to, for his birthday last year, he wanted to be one of the hotel. So for those of you who don't know, at our stadium here, we have a hotel that looks into the actual stadium. You can actually rent rooms around the outer rim of the stadium.
Nice.
So we looked into how much it cost, and it was the number was astronomical. Like we're talking hundreds of dollars. But the thing that's kind of maybe misleading is that, so you're in where they're located is basically right in center field. It's kind of like around that rim of the stadium. Unless you've got some pretty damn good eyesight, like I don't know about you, but most of the time I'm buying seats closer to the field. I don't know if it's worth $700 for the nosebleeds hotel section of the stadium there.
Well, it's in dead center field, and it's way above, like it's like halfway up the stadium. So I mean, I don't think you can hit a ball that far, and it's a long way to go. That's more of, if you're going, that's just kind of going to be in the hotel. You need binoculars for something.
Oh, 100%. Sure. Yeah.
So it's all good. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's kind of neat. And I believe that was the first retractable roof stadium. I believe.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a couple now. There's a few retractable. I think Milwaukee's got one. I want to say Minneapolis, but I can't swear to it. I know
Wembley's got one. Wembley.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the Cardinals don't play. They play in kind of a more traditional retro open air kind of ballpark. I like Busch Stadium. It's okay. Actually, the stadium I like one of my favorites is PNC Park in Pittsburgh. I love that stadium. It's got the greatest view because they really don't have any outfield like in the center field area. It's wide open, and you can just see right into downtown. You can see the bridges and it's a beautiful view. I mean, you can see a lot of the skyline as far as they don't. In St. Louis, they got a lot of boards up, and it really just faces the arch. And the arch is so tall, you can still see it over the top. But you really are facing kind of more into the Illinois side, and there's not much to look at. So, but in Pittsburgh, it's fantastic. It's a great view, great ballpark, good seats, cheap food and stuff. I mean, now they're pretty popular. Actually, the Pirates are in first place. Who knew, right? Oh well. Anyway,
I gotta give a quick shout out, Sam, because I know Tuna's in the chat there. So I just want to say a big hi there.
And
how you doing, Tuna? And Roddy as well.
Roddy's in there. So we got a couple of. So I will be actually on the TNT podcast. We're now moving it to its permanent home on Sunday afternoon. So now it looks like I'm going to be doing double headers.
Nice
for Sam. Yeah.
I don't know. Do they have double headers in football in the UK? Do they play 2 matches in a row? Did they ever done that? I don't think they did.
No. I did as a kid in amateur.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, in a tournament.
Yeah.
I think football players tend to be a little bit too precious for 2 games there, Sam.
Yeah. So Seattle, Houston, Milwaukee, Miami, Texas. There you go. Yeah. And the Sky Dome. So that's cool. Yeah. So there's quite a few now, but they were the first. So it's kind of neat. Nice because then you get the benefit of having, if you have a nice day, you can continue. You open up the stadium, you have a nice regular ballpark. But if it's a rain, you don't have to get a rain out. Just close the dome. You can still play. You don't have a rain out. It's kind of nice.
One thing that always surprised me about the stadium roof, so when I first came here and someone told me, the roof retracts, I thought it was fast. I thought it was like a button and it's done.
No,
I think it's like 90 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's like almost 2 hours to close the roof. I'm like, seriously, how can you? I guess they just predict, what the weather's going to end up being like. But,
right.
Yeah. I just imagined, it closing like a window, and I was grossly misinformed when I was waiting for 2 hours for it to close. But
So we have Darren on. So since he's been on, he's had apparently selling every phone he's ever owned. Apparently,
quickly. So
when he sells a phone,
for the guys who didn't catch Darren on last time, what's your website, Darren?
So it's One Cut Reviews. I don't know if you can see it on the chat there. OneCutReviews.com. there we go. Perfect. Yeah. It's where everybody goes to get, the latest and greatest product reviews is what I'm told. That's the popular opinion.
So that's product reviews. So not just tech, everyone, lifestyle stuff, everything.
Yeah.
Clothing, all sorts of stuff. It's great. It's fantastic. It's really, and I don't say this just because I'm actually on the show with Darren. It's a really slick UI. The website's really nice. It's easy to navigate. It's got a lot of good articles. It's fantastic. It's well written.
They're on Insta as well. On Instagram, get following him on there.
One Cut Reviews on Instagram there. Pretty much everywhere you can find a good social media account we're on. So with varying success. Our Instagram account apparently is our most popular because people love to just see pictures and not read. So makes sense.
But it brings them to the site, doesn't it, though?
100%. Yeah, it always gets it in, right? But I always said, if we could compartmentalize our reviews into just a single picture, I think we would be very successful because people seem to like our Instagram posts, right? So, But it's a labor of love. A labor of love,
So if you're looking just for any kind of reviews and you just want to kind of read about not just tech, but just any kind of review, and you want a nice, good, clean website where the reviews are really good and the writing's really nice and the UI is really slick, check them out. OneCutReviews.com. Go ahead, bookmark it, go check them out. And then, I do too. I've checked out a lot of stuff on that website. It's fantastic. Pretty good stuff.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll catch you later. No,
right.
Done.
The problem is with Darren, when he sells all his stuff, he sells like all his stuff. There's like 16 things that he sound like, dude. It's like I don't want to spend. I like all the.
I was going to say, I thought you liked your Pixel. I saw all your Pixel stuff on there at one point.
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough that like when we get sent products for review, a lot of the time they don't just send one. So they'll send like, different colors or different colors or like, the small one and the big one. So we like, I don't, we always have excess and, I'm one person and I always have been a one phone kind of guy. I don't rock two phones.
Yeah.
I flip between occasionally, but like pretty much if I'm not going to actively use it, I'm a bit of a minimalist, I guess, in that sense. I'll try to find someone who will. And most of the time, it's mostly successful. So,
yeah. So I guess the big story over the last couple of days or a week or so is Pixel Fold. There's a lot of rumors about it. Of course, now in true Google Pixel fashion, we know everything about the phone before it's even announced.
Yep, pretty much.
Why would we even bother trying to like figure it out, right? And interesting, I see a lot of interesting takes, right? People are bitching about the bezels.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's all begins.
The Tensor G2, right? Because, it's like, whatever. So, they did the same thing with the Duo. It had the 855, and people were like, 6 gigs of RAM, 855, it's trash, it won't work, it's garbage.
Yeah.
I have never had a problem with the RAM problem. It's always just been the general overall bugginess of that device, which has gotten better. It's never been a RAM issue. Like I don't understand why it's like, well, again, if they're spending $1,800, they should have bleeding edge hardware.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to. It's not necessary for that device. I don't think. I don't know.
I think it's like it's again kind of like the Pixel Watch. We talked about this, Sam, you and I, about like it's kind of like a proof of concept device.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Google more than anything just wants to come out of the gate going, you know what, we can do this. We can do it just as good as the other guys. It may not be perfect on the first try, but look at Samsung's original Fold. That was a disaster. Shit breaking, screens crack, falling apart. Like it was a disaster. I don't think Google's going to make the same misstep. For me personally, I kind of see this a bit like an A series release from Google. Like this is going to be their kind of like, it's going to have a Pro series price, but an A series kind of beginning hardware. It's going to have a good camera. It's going to have a good battery. It'll have good design, but nothing will be great. It'll be kind of
just going to make or break it. It's going to be the software experience because that's what 100%. Pixel's famous for, and that's what's going to make or break it.
Yeah,
how it performs on that.
And you're going to talk to me about bezels.
Yeah,
if you notice here, you see what I'm doing with my hand though? I'm holding it like this, and my knuckle isn't touching. I can actually hold the phone. I can actually touch the phone, and there's no input.
Yeah. And the screen's uninterrupted because the selfie cam is in the top bezel.
Correct.
Yeah. It's again, it's like
pros and cons.
At least for me. I mean, from a functional standpoint, the bezels I don't think detract from the device.
They're fine. Absolutely fine.
I really think that, again, like I said to people before, there are groups of people and contingents of people who are, no matter what happens, they are going to target anything that they perceive as a negative, a slight, not enough this, not enough that, a design cue. That's a subjective thing, right? And
I feel like people are sharpening up their pitchforks already. Like
always.
Always. Yeah, like we haven't even started yet. Like, you know, like we haven't even, it hasn't even been released, hasn't been announced, and they're already shitting all over it. But this happens again with every single Google hardware. The Pixel Watch, same deal. The 7 Pro, the 7, same deal. The 7A, people are already bitching about it. You see a couple of nice comments about the colors, which I find hilarious to me because colors mean shit once you put a case on them. But, you know, everyone's like, oh, yeah, you know, sure, like it's going to be great. But people are already shitting on it. They're like, oh, it's going to have a worse screen, a dimmer screen, you know, a processor's going to be okay, but the camera won't be as good. It's just that, yeah, again, you know, the sharpening of the pitchforks has begun every year for Google, every year.
Right. And Jimmy, friend of the show, fan of the show, our man in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Two of the pounds.
Stay hydrated. There you go.
What? He's not in Amsterdam, is he?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I was going to say. I learned something new then. If you
that's a Pulp Fiction reference. And stay with me.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm back with you.
That's okay. And then, like I said,
Jimmy, legend.
Right. And you know, Ari has a better front screen. Yeah, I don't think the bezel's atrocious. I think there is a bezel. Could they have worked through it? Sure, but it's, again, this is their first out of the gate device, and they're going to try to go with what they want to go with.
Does anyone really give a shit?
Well, clearly they do. Apparently, if you ask the Pitchfork crew, but and this is what I always tell people when they were saying about the Duo when it came out in the Duo 2. Any of those people are not buying this. Yeah. They're not buying it. They are not purchasing it. They're not interested in it. It doesn't matter. And again, we're at $1,800. But folks, anybody want to ask how much was the original Samsung Galaxy Fold at launch all those years ago?
I want to say take a guess. $2,000?
It was $1,799.
Wow. Yeah.
Same price.
Yeah. So I mean, here you go, right? It's just, again, a proof of concept, right? Like, here's Google flexing their muscle. I actually think, like Joe said, if they've managed to nail software, I think they might steal a few consumers away from Samsung.
Yeah.
They've done a good job, but I think when you're making the software in-house, you know, and the OS is made in-house, there's a lot more things they can do that Samsung can't. And I don't know, maybe that'll be it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they'll definitely offer a different kind of experience, right? And so your argument would be the same thing as your S23 versus your Pixel, right? Different software experience, different feature set, you know, and now you've got the form factor, right? And that's going to be, I think, where really the differentiation is going to come into, right? So if you're okay with that Pixel Fold, which has got more of a square shorter, wider aspect, which I prefer personally. I prefer that over that. And again, I've used a Fold 3 and a Fold 4. I don't dislike it. Typing on the screen is function. I can do it. I just don't prefer it. It's just too tall and too narrow for me. Again, does that make the device garbage? No. I just don't prefer that, and so I think it gets you a little bit different. But it's going to be the same thing. And there's some
promising things though. Like the hinge looks solid from the pictures.
If it closes flat, like I imagine it's going to, I think people are going to like that too.
Definitely.
Like that stupid wedge bullshit that Samsung does, like that's horrible. Like, I mean, it works, but I mean, we've seen from all these other companies now, like Xiaomi and Oppo, it can be done. Like you can make a folding device that actually folds flat.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, like from what I'm hearing on my end, the design's going to pretty much stay the same. Like it doesn't look like there's going to be any functional design upgrades. It's going to mostly be internally. So, you know, new processor, maybe more RAM, slightly bigger battery, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Samsung's going to do enough this year. I think maybe that was the play the whole time. Maybe they knew this was coming out and they're like, you know what, we've got a decent product already. Let's just upgrade it a little and just.
And also, you have to understand that there are development cycles for these, right? They already had that in the pipeline, and they weren't really expecting they didn't know much more about that, right? So when they come out with the Fold 5, they have to kind of already have that ready to go, right? These phones aren't. It's not just sitting there and they're like already designed, ready to go, and then out the door in 3 months. Okay, that's not a hardware or software turnaround. In order to do that, they probably have Fold 6 already, some kind of concept, and that's where they decide to pull the trigger and start making But also, again, until they didn't have any competition in the American market, and that's where Samsung was caring about. They didn't have.
That's what I was about to say. With no competition, Samsung ain't going to make massive improvements, are they?
So we're going to wait and see. Does this form factor work? And because people haven't really complained about it, they've been selling folds, and people understand that that's all you have. You only have that design. So now you've got a Pixel Fold in the mix. If it starts to get traction and people start giving feedback that form factor is more preferable, and they can then Samsung decides to leverage and shorten it up, maybe not match it, but maybe get it a little shorter, a little bit wider, and then they're in the same ballpark, right?
Yeah.
But they can't just, this stuff doesn't happen on a dime, folks. It just isn't. If you're doing software development, I'm sure. I mean, where we have builds of our software application that are out for 3 years. Yeah. We have alpha builds and in development and dev, local builds of our platform. So, that takes time. And just to switch that, especially software is a little easier. Hardware is a lot harder because you got to get components and parts and design. You got to make it all work and logistics. And it's just, you can't just change that. It was easy for Duo to went from Windows X, right? Because that was, they went right to Android. Because all you got to do is grab an AOSP build, throw it on there, throw some custom code on it. And then that's why you saw it. That's why it sucked out of the gate, because they had to get to market and they didn't have time to really get that code written for an AOSP build. Just didn't have enough time to do it, and so people gave them shit for it. It's like, well, they should have waited, but then they waited. Now it's another year where they're not going to be at marketplace, right? So you can't win. And apparently, with all these reviewers, you don't even have to worry about it. If you're just a Samsung person, you're going to like it if you're a Fold guy. So it's all good.
I mean, that's it, right? Yeah, I mean, every manufacturer is going to have, the diehard fans, which I think we can all appreciate from Twitter, where as soon as you say one bad or disparaging comment about, a major phone manufacturer, it's the end of the world, right? They'll tear your throat out. But again, I think at the end of the day, it's proof of concept for Google. If they do a decent job and they sell enough units to kind of make it worthwhile to them, it might be something to look forward to in the next couple of years. I mean, I don't want to shoot it down because I actually think it might work. Google's been quite good with their marketing for the Pixel 7 series, setting it up as this kind of the smarter smartphone, I guess. And maybe that's just the next step, right, into foldables, just saying, we've made something that you can use and functionally use more than just a phone.
Yeah.
And I have there's a couple of people in chat, Michael and Easy's in the chat, Easy Computer Solutions, and Eric's in the chat. Apparently it was over $2,000. So again, fact check. Yeah, there you go. But still, I mean, it was a lot of money, and these phones are going to be a lot of money. Again, why are we trying to push this? Well, if it comes in at $1,300, I would buy one. But would you really buy one at $1,300?
No.
Maybe you would.
Do you know what'd be interesting though is what the pre-order package is going to be, because I reckon there's going to be some goodies on pre-order, which will make that more enticing, that price.
Like I said before, maybe a charger. That would be kind of nice. Maybe
that would be a nice start.
Right. Yeah. I saw that they were talking about on the Pixel Fold. They were talking about adding a watch, right? Getting the Pixel watch. And you know what? Honestly, for me, I would rather take that $300 and apply it to the price. So I'll pass on the watch, but take that $300 MSRP and knock it down to $1,499. That's what I wish they would offer you if you could do that. I know they won't do it, but like I said, I'm not going to buy it just at launch just because I'd have to basically either pay for it, and my better half has already looked at me.
Going to divorce you,
well, no, she's not going to go that far, but she's already said it's a hard no. She's like, look, that's almost $2,000 to come out with. That's a lot for a phone.
Yeah, it's too much.
And I just don't want to get, and I'm trying to get away from AT&T, and I'm trying to clear some of these, and I don't want to be into another payment plan and paying for a phone. I just don't want to do all that stuff. So for me, I'm going to kind of wait and see and kind of watch what goes on. Also, too, and I'm still that guy. I'm still waiting to see what the Duo 3 comes out, if it even comes out. So I don't want to get into the Fold and then the Duo 3 comes out and then I'll have to wait and see and then have to. So I might get one. Who knows? But I won't be at launch for me. It's just
What are the carrier deals going to be though? I mean, like on an $1,800 phone, like like you're still going to be paying what, $70?
You're at $60 right there. Plus, also there's always AT&T. They always like to pad it a little bit. So for AT&T, it'll probably $18.49 or $18.99 because you'll have to pay the carrier.
You'll be paying about 70, 80 quid easy in the UK.
Yeah, and that's just
that's a lot. I mean, for an average person, you know.
Yeah, and
that'd be a 3-year deal as well.
Of course.
And Michael Pepper texts in the chat. He confirms 1980 plus taxes and only one model with 512. Okay, well, so there you go. See, so again, I didn't research shit, but somebody had made a comment that it's like, at $17.99, other phones, other foldables are at those price points. We're at $14.99 for a Duo. We're at $17.99 for a Pixel Fold. We're at $1,700, $1,800, $2,000 for the Fold series of phones. You're looking at plus $1,500 for any kind of foldable now if you're getting one domestically. Even if you're getting the Xiaomi or the Vivo X Fold or whatever, you're talking. That's a lot of scratch to be dropping on a phone for some people who just aren't really in the foldable mindset yet. They just don't see the benefit of it. I mean, Darren? That's going to be a question. Do you think what's your 2 to 4 year time frame as far as foldables? Like, is it always going to be a niche thing? Do you think it's going to catch on?
A niche.
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 It's okay.
Niche. It's a niche.
A niche. A niche thing.
I think personally, and I said that I've said this from the beginning. I honestly feel like the Flip is the one that'll take the market, not the Fold. And I think the reason for that is because there is this the sense of nostalgia and sense of versatility with the Flip. You don't have to have it all the time. You can close it up and fit it in any kind of pocket that you have, right? And if they get it to the point, which might happen with the Flip 5, where the battery's decent and the cameras are decent, do you really need much more? Like, you've got a fancy folding screen that fits in any pocket, any pants that you wear. It's cute. It's eye-catching. It's going to have decent cameras and a decent processor with decent battery. I think that might be the play. I think it's
got a wider appeal, hasn't it? It's going to appeal to more.
I mean, there's always this with foldables, especially like the folding book type form factor. It's always going to be big for some people. It doesn't matter if it's this thin but this tall. Like, as long as people can get it in their pocket, I think that's really what it boils down to. And I mean, I think I don't think they're going to go away. I think they're just going to kind of bleed into the choices that we have. I could probably see them becoming more commonplace. So as in you go to the store and you're choosing between a folding and a slab type phone. I think that's really what we're going to see. I don't think it's going to disappear.
Joe, I'm really pleased to see though some more Android tablets coming out.
Yes.
Oh, the
OnePlus
looks very nice, I think.
Sam's not a fan.
No, it's not. It's a tablet. It's another Android tablet. It's not going to do anything that another Android tablet. If you already got a Tab S8, which I've heard, I don't have an Android tablet. I've heard the Tab S8 is fantastic. People who haven't say
it is very good.
It's a killer platform. So if you're buying that tablet, why would you buy except just to have a OnePlus pad, right? I mean, it's cool. I do like the
it's cheaper though than the S8.
Oh, well, yeah, and and I also like the camera housing. They had, they take the little circle hammer house. That's kind of a little slick. And then for $479, I think if you're going to get into the tablet market, sure. But I think most people who are interested in a tablet probably already have one, right? They already have some kind of Tab S8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe not. I don't know. I mean, if I were going to take a stab into that tablet market, I would probably take a look at it instead of spending all the money on a Tab S8 because those are expensive, right? And so, I mean, let's just put it this way: my first and only tablet was the Google Nexus 2013.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the only thing. I still have it. My mom bought it for me. We were at the store one day. I bought it and I rooted it and ROM'd it and had all. Basically, I just turned that into basically an AOSP device. Just basically ran builds of Lineage on it all day is what I always did. So
see, I love a tablet at home. I love it for content consumption. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and so I think I like the design of it. I just think if right now it's again you're two markets too little too late. If there's already a lot of tablets, and what does it do differently that maybe a Samsung Tab or something else doesn't do?
Well, that's the thing, Sam. There's not much competition, is there? There is just Samsung.
Yeah.
Right. And
so
so
I'm pleased to see it. Like, it's really good. Pixel tab as well coming out. That's what I want to see.
So I would like to see it, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's just, you know, I'm excited that at least OnePlus is trying to get buds out there, a watch, a phone, a tablet. They're, you know, for all the talk about OnePlus kind of being a not a relevant company, they're trying to put products into segments into the marketplace for the American market.
Joe, let me ask you this question, because I know you're a big Pixel fan. So do you think by Google releasing a tablet and a foldable at the same time this year, do you think that that's a foolish move because they kind of negate each other? Like, I
was kind of thinking that, but I think they're going to market them then very differently. So I think the tablet is for families, the way they're going to market it, especially with that dock. Whereas the foldable is a totally different customer. That's what I think. Yeah. But I initially thought the same as you. I thought that's a bit weird at the same time.
And Michael makes a good comment. I guess the OnePlus doesn't have a video output.
Yes.
Oh, True. Okay. Well, again, now this is my only pushback to that would be but you're at $479.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
So that's the compromise. If you need the output mic, and I think you probably do, and you like it, I think if that's the case, then the pad's not for you. But if you're a person like me, it doesn't really matter as much, or if you don't really care because you're just going to be using it like, you know, on the couch and just futzing around with it. Shit, why not? I mean, for basically less than $500, and plus it's kind of a unique design. I kind of like it. Has a uniquely OnePlus look to it. It's definitely, you can look at it.
If you've got a OnePlus phone as well, it's fantastic, because I had an Oppo phone with this Oppo pad here, and it was brilliant. I could use the phone on the screen here.
Oh wow!
It was brilliant. So you could be doing work on your tablet or whatever, and you could have your phone there on the screen.
Yeah. Sean makes a good point here that it's only 128 with no expandable.
Wow.
Again, we're at $479. If they try to sell that at $699, maybe they should offer a 256 or a 512 version at the $599 or $699 or $749 maybe.
If it's only coming in at 128, like, what are they marketing this as? Because if it's 128, it's not a gaming tablet.
No, but the Samsung start at 128 at the base model.
Right. Okay. So maybe that's just like they're par for the course.
Yeah, that's just
No, I just wonder because I mean, like, if usually they're going after a market, right? So I'm just going to assume this is like a sit on your ass and watch soccer kind of tablet, right? Like,
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Although the pen and the keyboard case looks quite good. The folio case.
Yeah.
Again,
doesn't really good.
If they're including a pen, like, are they thinking this is going to be?
No, you buy that separately.
Oh, of course, right? Yeah. Well, I was just wondering because, like, if you have a pen, normally that means that you're going to be doing graphic design, right? Editing, etc. 128 ain't going to cut it.
No, it's not.
I don't know. Right. Like, is this just OnePlus going, we can make one too? Like, here you go. Here's all the shit.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, also, I think, and also too, they're hitting a lower segment, right? They're into more of a sub 500 tablet, and then a lot of people make comments. OnePlus 11 and the OnePlus Tab being 1078, it's actually less than an iPhone. That's kind of hilarious. That should be hilarious and a little frightening at the same time. It's kind of scary. But then you got this. Sean says you got the S7 video output DeX, and now you're at 479.
Right.
So you're there, and you have an option, but it's a year older. So what do you want to do, right? Do you want to go for the
choice? Yeah.
There's a Dimensity a little bit more powerful though. I think it might be the Dimensity 9000. I think it's got in it.
What does the OnePlus have?
I don't know. I haven't paid much attention to it because I'm not in the market to buy one.
No, me either.
And not just because it's OnePlus. It's just I didn't buy a Tab S8 either because I'm not a tablet kind of user generally. But like I said, again, this gives you options. You have an option to get an S7. You have now the OnePlus Pro pad you can get in there on. You could buy another, DT makes a comment, he's got a Surface Go, right? So now you got Surface devices. Now you got other kind of, which is running Windows, right? So now you've got a whole different kind of ball game going on, and you have options in the space for your workflow and also your price point, and there are going to be compromises if you're going to have a OnePlus. Again, if storage is a big thing to you, if video out's a big thing to you, you're obviously going to pass on the OnePlus pad. You're just going to.
I've heard the Surface Go performs much better than its specs.
Yes.
Maybe a DJ.
I haven't used one. I've seen one, and I'm telling you, I think it's a pretty good little piece of hardware. The Surface line generally is pretty good hardware as far as I can tell. I mean, I've had a Surface Book 1 and 2, and I really liked it. It was hard on gaming. It got really hot. It wasn't really meant for that. But as far as a form factor, I really liked to use my Surface Book. I really enjoyed it. I had no problems with it, really, honestly. I know a lot of people did, but mine was pretty spot on, actually.
Neil just said in the chat here that he thinks that nothing will release a watch and tablet later in the year.
Okay.
Which, that actually might be interesting to me, because here's a company that, you know, they've shown us that they can make some good hardware and something interesting and different and unique. Like, if they can get the price down to lower than the OnePlus tablet and a watch that's less than the Pixel watch, but still perform as good with maybe some better battery and a bigger size, I don't know, man. I think nothing's a one to watch this year. I think they've got some surprises up their sleeves. I have to agree with you, Neil.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, and you can't sleep on Carl Pei at this point with nothing. I think you can't sleep on him generally, but I think nothing as a company. I think he wants to develop that, and I think that's and I think Roddy is an intro. It's an intro tablet, right? It kind of gets you into the space, you know, and again, it allows more people to be engaged, allows more people to buy into a tablet, because it will be domestically. You can buy it in the United States. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. I'm curious if carriers will sell it, and maybe they will in the store. I don't know if they will.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
But yeah, and Sean says that the Dimensity is more powerful, but it's an overpriced Fire Tab. Yeah, well, again, yeah,
I get Fire Tab.
Those are fair comments. So, like I said, again, it's one of those things where when you should be always, as always, just don't watch reviews. Don't listen to people like just Darren and me and Joe and Pixel people and Samsung people and right. Just shop around and go to the store if you can and get the hardware. It actually
makes a big difference seeing it and feeling it, and 100%.
That's what she said. It's too easy.
I remember, back when I was a diehard iPhone fan, and this was back in the days. I think it might have been like the iPhone 8, maybe.
I was gonna say, this was like a year ago, right? When
No. So I remember the first time I went to a store and I saw the Samsung Note 10, and that fucking blew my mind. Like I was shocked at how far they'd come. Like it had been a while since I'd held a Samsung device, and with its square shape and uniform bezels, all screen kind of approach, I'd never seen anything like that before. And Sam's right. Like with a lot of these things that we see these photos of, you have to go in and get it in your hand. You just have to, right? I mean, otherwise you just don't know what you're buying, and you don't know what you're signing up for. You don't know what you're going to get. And, who knows? It might be too heavy, too big for your pocket. You gotta kind of see what works for you. And I think, that's really important for people that are spending $1,800 on a foldable phone. Try it in store, like go in and see it, like put it in your hand, right? That's what she said. But, that's one of those,
take it for a test drive, right? I mean, it's just, again, it's like one of those things where you wouldn't buy like an RV or a car or anything else like that. I granted a car obviously is more of a $20,000 purchase, $30,000, $40,000 purchase. But I mean, you would never even consider purchasing a car, not at least test driving it and getting it out there and seeing how you like it and seeing if it fits for you.
Of course, yeah.
Right. And I just think we're at that point where if you get a chance, you can do that. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited because again, I think it's a Pixel, so that makes me already excited, but also a foldable, which I'm a fan of, obviously. And I just, the more we can get foldables out there but I think it's really going to depend on the next really 2 to 3 years. I think if really it takes off, and what it actually, and I hate to say this just because it just pains me to say it, but I think the success and failure of foldables as a segment will really be depending on if Apple gets in the game.
Yeah.
If they really think that they have to get into the game because they see a lot of traction in that segment, I think once Apple decides to get out there and put their foldable out there or flippable, once it gets in the hands of iPhone users and they see that, that's when that segment's going to explode. And until then, it's going to be fringe and it's going to be niche, I think.
They won't for a few years at least.
Oh, I reckon they've been working on it for years now. I reckon it's coming. Like I think for me, if they release a tablet, a foldable, whatever you want to call it, that's like 2 iPad minis stuck together, it's game over. It's game over. because that iPad mini is received by most of the tech community as being basically the iPad to buy if you're not interested in like a Pro model. But if they do bring some of those Pro model features into that small form factor, and maybe like the Duo have a hinge in the middle, fuck, it's over. Like you might as well, Samsung might as well pack it in, because people will gravitate towards that because they love that size and the functionality that comes with a screen that's a bit bigger. Make phone calls, it's over. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you one thing: if you're in the market for a Pixel Fold, right, or a OnePlus Pad, you probably need to think about skinning your shit.
100%.
True.
You'll need to skin that shit.
Dreamskins.co.uk. You skin your shit. So get in there. They're going to have, I guarantee you, they will definitely have Pixel Fold. They probably will have Tab, OnePlus Pad. I don't like that name.
That's stupid. Yeah,
you got to call it something. It doesn't float right. It's just OnePlus Pad.
They brainstormed that for ages, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Late
night production meeting.
It's okay. It's not the end of but yeah, if you go to dreamskins.co.uk, go on Tuesdays. They usually have a buy one, get one. They got, I think they're coming out with the black Yakuza.
That looks cool. That looks pretty slick.
Sweet. I mean, I'm going to get on that. As soon as they get a chance, I'm gonna pick that up for sure. But yeah, check them out. Great customer service. Great. They'll ship internationally, very promptly. They usually fulfill orders pretty quick. Really competitive prices and a good team of blokes and Sheilas. I don't know what
Sheilas.
Yeah. Just saying. I got a guy from Australia, so I throw that.
Yeah.
In. Just kind of,
Why not?
I'm trying to be accommodating to everybody.
I don't even know if most Australians call them Sheilas anymore. I mean,
that's like what your parents would call them, right?
I don't want to get canceled.
Hey, there's Dwayne. Mims is in the chat. Hey, Wayne, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it. So, and then Michael Pepper makes this comment about this. They're in the European market, according to them, they're not going to have the quick connected data share.
Oh,
why not?
Yeah.
I guess is it that EU? Is it an EU restriction thing? Is it? I mean, I'm curious why that is. Why would they not have that?
Maybe because of Nokia. Nokia,
and
suing their ass.
Right, and as funny as Mims, I was actually thinking that. I just didn't want to say it because it was too stupid. But I'm glad you mentioned it, because it was, as soon as I said OnePlus Pad, in my mind I was like, "You down with OPP? Yeah, you're down with the OnePlus Pad." Not really. It's just terrible. It's just a terrible name. But I mean, it'll be an interesting product. We'll see. Speaking of interesting products, I would have called it the One Pad.
The One Pad. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty
One Pad.
Just get rid of the One Plus, or just Plus Pad, or something like that, or just the Plus Tab, OnePlus Tab, or something like that, or OnePlus Tablet. I just it's iPad. I get it. I mean, they want to let you know, but I mean, I don't think you have to look at it to tell that you don't need to call it a pad to know that it's basically a tablet. I mean, basically what it is. Pad 1, that would have been cool. One. Yeah, Pad 1.
Yeah.
And then Pad 1 Supreme. It's got like sour cream on it. Comes with.
I think Pad 1's been taken by Star Wars.
Oh really?
Yeah, Oh, that's true. Yes.
So
I appreciate the Star Wars reference there.
So interesting that Darren has a website that handles just lifestyle, and I'm curious. Did Marquez send you a pair of the new shoes?
No.
Well, that's a shame, because how are you going to review them on the website? I guess you're going to have to come up with 189 quid to get them, right?
I'm going to be honest with you. Those fucking things are ugly. They are. They're fucking ugly. I'm not going to buy those. Listen, I mean, I worked in selling shoes at one point in my life at a sporting store many years ago, but I think that's a money grab and a half. If more so than I've seen anything him do. I think, I don't know. They're just not for me. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of blacks and grays and, like neutral tones, but the black and red and it being sponsored by a fucking tech YouTuber, nah, that's not for me.
And I guess my question is, and this is the only counterpoint to that would be, is if you are selling merch of any kind, and by the way, I'm unwrapping my knee brace, by the way, so that's why if you're looking. Anybody watching the stream, like, what the hell is Sam doing? I'm taking my eyes off. But I guess my question is, if you are selling merch, isn't that anything? Isn't that what it really is a money grab? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. It's if you bought those shoes and you wore them in public and you asked 100 people, would anybody know what that is? Maybe 2 people would recognize them and go, "Oh, I know those are Marquez's shoes, right?"
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, would anyone even notice? Like, I don't even know if anybody would care. Like, they would just look like another generic brand, black and red shoe that kind of looks like a Nike ripoff.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who makes them? Do we know who makes them? Honestly, I didn't even.
Atom, isn't it? Is that what it's called? Atom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Ronnie, that's not fair, man. I don't think you're unattractive. It's definitely not as unattractive as the shoes are. I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't know, Dan. And Dan, you're going to have to qualify this statement. I don't know if he's like mad that we're talking about the shoes or what. He's like, there's so much tech to talk about. You guys are talking about these shoes, but it is a tech adjacent topic, right?
That's true.
Right. So I don't know if he's just giving me shit. He probably is. And Dan,
the thing is, though, you'd want some tech to be in them shoes, but there's no tech in them. Just laces, normal laces.
What do you want to line up?
I wanted to lace themselves up. Something.
Come on, man.
So,
yeah, and I like, yeah.
I'll just jump in, Sam. So I've got a couple of students who I teach in my day job. They're messaging me like crazy on my classroom here, and they're giving me shit. They're saying we have no idea what he's talking about. You know, he's talking about tech now. He's insulting shoes. I actually think it's worth talking about shoes.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I told you my one of my managers, she listens to the show.
Right.
And her daughter was in the car, like, all he talks about is Android. Nobody cares about Android. It's like, so I just think it's kind of interesting. But to your point, I think that anybody who's selling merch, again, it's not like the general consumer is going to know. And we could honestly say that Marquez is probably one of the most popular tech people on earth, right? Between, a couple of other, maybe, can throw some other people in there. But I mean, look at Mr. Beast. I mean, he's doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I know he wants to make his brand more visible, right? But I mean, what I'm saying is most people in the stores probably don't know who Mr. Beast is, that they're shopping on the shelf and they see, whatever he's selling. I don't think it's necessarily always, I mean, I can understand if you were kind of close to getting that and people knew who you were, like the general public knew you were. Maybe it's to get your marketing out there, your brand out there so people can see it. But to me, if you're doing anything like that, it's definitely to try to drive extra revenue streams into your company for whatever reason. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
If you can leverage it, go for it. Right?
Like
Super Saf had his sunglasses, didn't he? Do you remember them?
Right. And so did El Jefe. Didn't he have sunglasses too that you could purchase them? I mean, it's like.
Did he? Oh, buy El Jefe's.
Yeah, but I mean, or at least he had them where you could, like, he had customized ones. I mean, I thought that was a slick deal. Right?
He didn't sell them though, did he?
I don't think so. I would much rather buy a pair of sunglasses with El Jefe's logo on it than with anybody else, because I
want to be El Jefe.
And I guess the other thing is, the other thing too is they're $189, and I guess the other description, I know Mims said something about it. That's kind of high. That's kind of a high price.
Yeah, my Air Force Ones cost me 110.
Yeah,
but that's Nike Air Force Ones, so like
right. So you're kind of in that. I mean, you're in the upper echelon of athletic shoes, right? I mean, that's kind of $200. That $200, that's pretty. That's pretty,
not for me.
Pretty, well,
although. Do you know what I saw today? Some Adidas Gucci's.
Oh.
700 quid. They got a collab. It was ugly, to be fair. But I don't know. What do I know about shoes? I don't know.
And let's see what Aditya says. He's playing devil's advocate, so let's see what he says. Marquez does have a near 10-man team pace. Again, I get it. Here's the thing. If you can leverage any of your brand and you can sell a hoodie for $70 or T-shirts I'd go for it, man. At the end of the day, if you can do that and people buy that and it moves the needle and it brings an income stream, because at the end of the day, I think we can all really agree that Marquez, especially now considering how his company is a company, right? I mean, he's got a team of people. He's employing you. Yeah. It's a company now. So we're not into the just doing it for love of the game when he was a kid, when he was in
it's a brand. It's a brand, isn't it?
He's got to make money. And I mean, and that's what he's trying to do. And I'm okay with that. I mean, Mr. Beast is diversifying and putting
where's the Nomad Tech Project shoes? Someone mentioned, Adida mentioned that you guys are doing Crocs.
We are going to do Crocs.
Hell no. Hell no.
We're going to sell
Crocs.
hats with little glued on flowers.
That's pretty nice.
And we're going to sell
here's the prototype.
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Yeah. That's amazing. I actually want one of those.
Yeah, and that's what
they're pretty nice. They keep the sun out.
$20.
Well, my wife was giving me shit the other day because I bought myself a wide brim straw hat that has Corona on the like the beer brand. Nice. And on the inside of the lip of the hat there's Corona labeling. And every time I put the hat on, because I figure it might be suitable for the beach or whatever. I'm never going to wear it in like anywhere else but the beach. But every time I put the hat on, I just turned into like drunk version of myself and just became like a woo girl. And
right now, is it because while you're wearing the hat, you're drinking the entire time?
Well, basically, yeah. Like I'm just imagining what my summer's going to be like, right? But I became a woo girl, and I just started wooing around the house. And,
hot guy summer. There goes Darren on the beach getting all like
yeah. I'm gonna have a Corona hat on and nothing else, but
right. And here's the thing. This is what I always say, and this is what I fall back to is when people complain about sports people getting like these outrageous, what they consider outrageous salaries, $30 million to play baseball. I'm like, who in this chat, if they said to you, Sam, we'd like you to play baseball and we want you to do it for $30 million a year for 5 years, you'd be like, nah, you know what? I just really honestly think I should play, like, let's do it for $5 million, or I'll play for the league minimum, just because nobody's doing that. You don't even do it in your job. I mean,
Sam, just quickly going back to Corona. Well, how unfortunate to have that name.
Oh, I know. Yeah, right.
God, terrible. I mean, it was like you just kind of walked into the buzzsaw. You're like, well, fuck it, we're here, right? Might as well just go with it, right? But I mean,
that's gonna lead into it.
And Michael Coker, like I forgot he made Linus Tech Tips made a screwdriver.
That's correct. Yeah, he
did. He?
Yeah, and
I didn't think he. Okay.
So he's right. It was,
I guess,
insanely overpriced. Like I can't remember the exact amount. I think it was $99 or something crazy like that. Like,
but did it have like interchangeable? Cost. Well, let's.
It was. It was fancy. Okay. It had interchangeable like the heads for the different types of screws that you might need. But I remember he was sending it to all these other tech reviewers online. Does that come up there? Because I don't remember the price.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I'm going to try to, first time on the show, I'm going to try to see if I can actually.
Yeah, have a little look.
Share the screen.
Darren, just quickly. Last time we had you on, you said you was thinking about doing videos review on YouTube. You still thinking about it?
Well, I mean, I think the podcast kind of took place of that inspiration.
Okay.
I mean, originally, I don't know if you remember the last time we talked, we were doing our podcast through Twitter Spaces, and now we've upgraded to live YouTube podcasts every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. tonight. But yeah, no, we kind of went down that route just to see if it would work, but it's maybe in the, I know I said the last time, in the near future, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I didn't do this right. I guess I need to stop. Let me try to do it. Actually got the.
Oh, that was working, Sam. I could see it.
I had another tab, so it didn't show. So there we go. $70. Okay. I mean. Yeah. I don't know.
That's like that's $120 Canadian. That's never going to sell.
Well, yeah. Canadian, that's like they got loonies and toonies. It's not even real money up there. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's true. Yeah,
I love my Canadian peeps. So don't hate. There's not many Canadians except for Darren.
Right? They're gonna start storming the podcast. Be careful.
Yeah.
I saw this about the screwdriver.
What are you doing, Toss?
And I see the stuff about with other people, and they're trying to take a brand, leverage it, and sell merch. Totally get it. We had merch on our old show. Again, we sold a few things. Again, it's whatever. If you can do it, why not? I mean,
do you know what I'll say to that, Sam? I'll say screw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I bought the shirt from Juan Bagnell. I bought the shirt from TK Bay, our Bay TK Bay.
I like his hat. I like his hat with his logo.
And I bought Jeff's brother when he was had the Audio One. I bought that shirt. I thought it was cool, and also it went to a good cause, so I didn't mind spending that.
GameSki's got some nice merch.
Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing: if you're really a fan of a product, if you're a fan of Linus Tech Tips or MKBHD and whatever, or Mr. Beast, and you want to spend the money,
don't spend it on the smaller creator instead.
That's right. On these guys, on us, on TNT, on all of these.
Yeah, find a smaller creator and support them instead.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, honestly, but Mims, but it's not Linus Tech Tips' screwdriver.
No, he didn't use it.
You can't be like the cool kids.
Yeah.
I guess whatever. It's one of those things where it's again, this is all a business for some of these people. I mean, they're no longer just doing it for love of the game. We do it just because we like to do this podcast, right? We're not trying to leverage this in anything. But yeah, if I had merch and if I could spend and if we could sell shirts, but even when I had the other show, I think I just basically sold them for cost. I mean, I had a person who bought the shirts pretty cheap, right? And then we sold them for a small, like, I think it was like $3 markup, because I didn't want to, you know, people were having to ship it internationally and pay for shipping. At that time, it's coronavirus, right, and stuff, so it was expensive. You know, a lot of our people in the UK and Europe, like at DT and stuff, they didn't want to spend $35 to ship a $25 T-shirt. It kind of was insane, right? So I get all that, but it's whatever. I'm not anti-Ford or anything. If you want to spend your money on it, it's your money. Spend it how you want. But I just find it interesting that how polarizing that discussion is, right? Why he's doing it? It's too much money.
Yeah.
My question is, I don't care if they're not necessarily unattractive, but are they comfortable? I guess that's my question. Is I mean,
does anyone know the brand that makes the shoe? Like, have they made anything else?
I have never heard of Adam before, so I don't know. I guess they're a smaller American company. I never heard of their shoes.
Who knows?
So
maybe they make frisbee gear. I don't know. Do they?
Well, yeah, that's what made that. I was thinking maybe it's an athletic brand, because I mean we know he's really into like was it extreme frisbee? I don't know what it's fucking called. Maybe
I think it's called ultimate frisbee.
Oh, sorry, ultimate frisbee. I apologize. I got the name wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never. I mean, apparently they have like a kind of an appropriate league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen people playing it in the parks and stuff, but I didn't know they had a league for it, which is kind of cool. Again, I mean he's
cool.
And then I saw one play. He jumps like I think 64 feet in the air to catch one of these frisbees. I mean, he jumped like over a fucking NFL goalpost. It was insanity. I mean, it's like
because he had them trainers on.
That's true. He had those.
It allowed him to jump higher.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of. I saw that video. I was like, holy shit, man! He's easily 4 feet. I mean, he's easily got a 40-inch hurdle. It's crazy, and he just like all that. And he's like, I think he's like 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy.
Tall dude. It's incredible. I mean, his ability to get to that frisbee was nuts. So I mean, whatever, man. And I don't know if it pays anything. Who cares? I don't think he really cares about the money at this point. But if I would never play ultimate frisbee because I would be terrible at it.
I'll be honest with you.
Seems to be a fan.
Being from Australia, I didn't know what the hell ultimate frisbee was, and I thought it was a joke when someone was telling me that's a legit sport. But because in Australia we don't have that, like it doesn't exist. But then when I watched people doing it, Jesus.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Now, I guess here's a take. What do you think is, Darren? So other YouTubers doing the videos on the shoe. I didn't see any of them because I didn't even watch anything about them.
So Dave 2D. 2D? He I think he posted a video, I think it might have been yesterday or today. I think he had his own version of the shoe as well in that turquoise white color that he's obsessed with.
Oh, really?
Or something like, I remember seeing a video. Maybe I got that wrong. Forgive me if I do, but I remember, is this what's going to happen? Are all these guys going to start selling fucking shoes? Because if that's the case, like, I'm just going to stop following and stop subscribing because, I don't know. Do you need them? Do you really need them? Like, are they better than Air Force Ones? Like,
no, I would definitely get like a hoodie or a shirt or a hat. Or like a sock hat or a toque. If you're Canadian, you have toques, right? But I mean, as far as shoes, I'm kind of specific, honestly, and I don't give a shit if anybody makes fun of me. And if you do, you guys can all fuck off. I wear Skechers. I love those shoes, man. I have a pair of slip-on Skechers. They're really comfortable. I have a wear work shoes, and I love them. So I'm not really into that scene, but I will buy the hell out of a t-shirt, a hoodie, a hat, stickers. Like stickers for a laptop or stickers. I'm totally okay with that. But shoes, I don't know if I would buy shoes. I just don't think that's my.
I would, but not at that price point.
No, me either. Yeah, I mean, if he was coming in at like, how much are they? 170?
I think they're 189, I believe.
Oh my goodness, at 189, Jesus! And like you said, Joe, I find it so hilarious that this tech YouTuber who is got millions and millions and millions of fans. There's no tech in there. No fucking lace up, automatic
RGB.
No, yeah, exactly. And some lights, anything. But no, these are just regular, ordinary shoes for $180.
But when I was a kid, they had the pumps, the Reebok pump.
Yeah, man. Now we're talking.
A pair of pumps. So
now we're talking.
Well, Darren already has a pair of pumps. They belong to his wife, and he may or may not put them on occasionally.
It's true.
Just saying. I know. But I just thought it was kind of cool. Like, something that differentiates the shoe to make it kind of other than just a look. I don't think they're unattractive or good looking. I'm kind of on the fence, but
I'm on the fence with it, yeah.
I actually, but it's okay.
Well, I was going to say,
Trent had an issue with his pair. See Trenton Tech. He had an issue with his pair. I saw it on Twitter.
Wait, a defect, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I mean he's not had them long.
Right? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there was some kind of a manufacturing defect there.
Oh, I'm sure he'll probably get a new pair or a refund. I'm sure that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think they replied to him on Twitter, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, and I think, and not just because of creator, I think anybody who bought the pair, I think they have some kind of manufacturer's warranty if the things fall apart.
Definitely.
And you're going to have that with anything, so I don't think that's necessarily.
Just quick, Darren, what are you reviewing at the moment? Anything fancy, a bit out there? Yeah.
Just interesting.
We were just working on today. We've been very fortunate working with Lenovo lately. So
I love Lenovo.
They sent us an epic gaming setup. So from the monitor that I'm watching you guys on right now, keyboard, mouse, gaming headset, the actual PC itself, which was ridiculously, LED lights and all crazy shit.
Is it the Legion range? Legion range, yeah. Good stuff, man.
Which has been just phenomenal. Like, I'm just blown away with just how powerful and and amazing the screen is on the monitor, and just really responsive. So we just did a write-up on that. We've got a few things in the works. A few phone manufacturers have reached out just in the last couple of weeks asking if we want to review some of their stuff. So that's coming down the line. But yeah, no, like nothing crazy, unfortunately. Not like I know most of the crazy shit happened right in the early Wild West days of One Cut reviews. And I know we talked about last time, and I apologize for bringing this up again, Sam. I know Sam doesn't want me talking about all the interesting personal how do we call these? Personal satisfaction devices, we'll call them.
Oh, yes. We touched on it, didn't we?
We touched on it a little bit there. But we get a lot of requests for that kind of stuff. We're at the point now where we started working with a couple of other companies and stuff that are helping us source some of those kind of like products that have been on our hit list. So, we're trying to get into covering more like e-bikes and personal technology products. Right now, I think probably the biggest area that we're seeing growth in regards to they're reaching out and saying, can you review this, is wearables. We've had watches and fitness things and shoe pods and just crazy shit. The last couple of months, it's just been just crazy stuff being sent out to us. So we don't like to flood the website too much with the same type of review. So I don't know if you noticed the last couple of months, we've had a lot of watches and watch-related things. But that's because we've had so many just sitting around. We've used them and we've kind of put our thoughts together, but we just don't want to flood the website with too much, right?
And just so everybody's clear, full transparency, I am using a Legion T5.
There you go.
Rig. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, I love it. I mean, I bought this and I got a really good deal on it, and it's awesome. I think I have a Legion. I think it's the Y720. I gave it to my daughter. Fantastic gaming laptop. I've had really good experiences with Lenovo, and I'm currently using one right now, as a matter of fact. So full transparency.
And look, I mean, I'm going to do shameless plug here. If there are any companies who are watching right now that want to reach out and share some lovely product with these lovely folk here that you see, or with the TNT podcast, or OneCutReviews.com, we would love to have you. These guys are great and they do a good job, and we would love to get some sponsors on the
I'd love to. I might even do a video for Lenny then.
There you go. And speaking of that will be on the Purposely Pixel YouTube channel, so you should check it out. That's where our awesomely, terribly not planned podcast goes on that channel. Now his content is very much planned and very nice and very professional. Ours, there's a substantial professionalism drop off when you're watching the YouTube channel for our content versus Lenny's content. But check him out. He's all excited. He's got, we got the 7A coming out with that blue color, which I think is pretty sharp looking. Yeah. Again,
there's going to be
the colors.
I heard there's going to be a coral one, but it will only be Google Store exclusive.
A throwback color.
Yeah. I really like when they did having the Pixel, the 4XL or whatever, where it had the button, the power button had a color that matched.
Yeah, did a little accent on it. Yeah.
I just like that. It's a nice little touch that I just think it costs nothing. but I think that's a good aesthetic. I really like when they make I like those looks. I think they really did a good job. So yeah, we got the 7.8 coming out. Google I/O's next, coming up pretty soon. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm kind of pissy about the fact that the fold information is all out there now. I'm happy because I get to see it a little ahead of time. But it kind of takes the oomph out of these shows, right? And if you already know everything about it, it kind of doesn't make you want to watch the Google I/O unless you're looking for.
I wonder if it's planned. So I don't know if you remember the last time they did a Google thing. Remember that there was someone, I forget who it was, but there was someone on Twitter who said that they stumbled across the Google tablet and happened to be sitting on the table, just conveniently sitting there. And when it was asked about it, they quickly put it away, right? It almost makes me wonder if it's them that's leaking it.
Oh, it's absolutely. I mean, I don't, put on my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Here's the thing: every time Google does this, it always happens to them. It's this
the Pixel Watch. Do you remember the Pixel Watch?
Any of the Pixels,
it was on someone's wrist on a button.
Anything they do, it's always this way. So that has to be by design. I can't imagine that that isn't at least, or maybe not pushed by Google, but they're definitely like, we're not going to really try to do anything aggressively to try to prevent or stop it. We're just going to let it kind of naturally go. If it gets out, cool, and which it always will, because people are just clamoring. Say what you will, but people are very interested, and I've seen a lot of content about this Pixel Fold over the last 2 months or so, especially as it's ramped up. I'm telling you, if you think that nobody cares about pixels and pixel content and what Google's doing, I'm here to tell you, I think it's a lot more than it used to be. I think people really do pay attention to that. So I do think it's planned. Yeah. No, Joe's not
going to buy one?
No.
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, I guess I could be tempted, but we'll see. I don't think so, though.
I don't want to say no, but it's probably a 90% no for me. Like I said, unless I can get a trainer a good deal or whatever, we'll see. Or if somebody likes me enough, they want to send me one to play with and have fun with and try and maybe buy. Maybe it's cool. But just buying one, going to a carrier on AT&T or whatever, or T-Mobile, and then actually getting into a payment plan. I don't want to spend $70 a month. That just does not sound
nice. Yeah.
Not for that device. It's just not for me. But we'll see. Yeah. Don't want to say never, because
exactly. You never know, right? I mean, who knows? It could be the greatest thing that's ever come out, this year.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we're into tech, right? So there's always a possibility that we'll be interested.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely will talk about it and have people on if they happen to want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully Lenny gets one.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah. And like I said, I'm sure Darren will get one, and most of the people in our little group and TNT group will get it. And speaking of that, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30, the TNT podcast. Check that. We'll be live streaming. Darren and I will be there. I'm sure. I think Dan might even show up. I know he said something. So we'll have.
I'll have to be replay squad. I'm afraid. I'll be asleep.
Yeah, Roddy. Well, yeah.
Joe's gonna go to get his beauty sleep. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Man.
Well, he needs to maintain that, because just the hair alone, he's got to sleep 2 hours just to maintain the hair.
Little jealous. Little jealous.
Yeah, thanks, and Aditya is going to help me. I was going to ask Sundar Pichai to just send me one if he would. That would be great. If you know Mr. Pichai, sure.
That'd be amazing.
If not,
that'd be great.
Exactly. So
I'll take 2.
Darren, anything else? So again, One Cut Reviews. We'll put the links in the show notes. We'll make sure that everybody go check it out, especially if you're just interested in just general lifestyle and not just tech. Check out the website. It's fantastic, and trust me, I don't say it just because Darren and I are buddies. I really think it's a really good website, and then
it's slick, real slick.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one quick thing before we go, though.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah.
I wanted to know what your favorite product you've reviewed this year so far.
Oh, I gotta pull up a list. Hang on a second, because you put me on the spot. I want to say, so we've done a few so far this year. Oh, that's tough. Oh, you're putting me really on the spot there. Hang on a second.
How about top 3?
Top 3, yeah. Top 3,
I would say so far, I really, really like the Anchor projector, the Nebula capsule.
Okay, they look good. They do look really good.
We just finished the review of that one, and then they reached out to us to review their latest one, which is the 3, which is apparently even better than the one that they sent out. That was if you love movies and you want to be able to set it up in the backyard in a nice, spring, summer evening and watch a movie with your kids, it's phenomenal. It's the size of maybe like a beer, and it
that's
hook
cool.
up by Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. You can, Android cast your whole movie. It's phenomenal. Yeah, that's been my favorite so far.
Yeah, anchor build quality is top notch as well.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it is a little pricey. You pay for what you get, but I mean, I've had no issues with it. And I mean, it's so good that, I mean, I have a 65-inch TV here at home. I would actually, if that ever decided to give up the Ghost, I would actually probably just switch directly to that thing. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the screen goes up to 100 inches. So, I mean, it's even more magnitude if you have a nice empty wall to kind of project up onto. Great for streaming, great for watching this podcast, the TNT podcast, all of those.
Well, I mean, I would sit on the back because I have the like one wall right there where I can actually, it's just the siding of my house, but I could right where the hot tub's at and my grill, I could just put it right there and just be outside on a nice summer day and just watch either a baseball game or a movie or just,
perfect for that,
That'd be fantastic. And just your website's got the Aditya Good Housekeeping seal of approval. You said it's sick as fuck. So there you go.
Thank you, Aditya. I appreciate it.
So we're at 1 hour 10 minutes. That's going to be the show today for April 30th, 2023. Again, Darren, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking your time, especially considering we've got to flip around. He's got to get some chow. Actually talk to his wife for maybe 20, 30 seconds. Just let her know.
That's it. That's enough.
Right. And then we got to get right back into it.
That's what she said.
Right. So again, we'll have you on as always. Always we love having you on, and you're always welcome to come on anytime that
you have a
moment. Granted, I don't forget again.
Next time you won't.
It worked out all right in the end though. Like
it did.
It's all good.
It worked out well.
It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't feel too bad now. He kind of forgot too, so it's still my fault. But at least he was like, I didn't remember either. So I was like, okay, that's not.
I like how Darren made you sweat though. I like how Darren made you sweat.
Oh yeah, I was freaking out. I was just like, oh god, what a terrible human being.
It's okay. I'm easily forgotten about. Don't worry.
No, not at all. So
not at all, mate.
So that's going to be the show, the Nomad Tech Project for Sunday, the April 30th, 2023. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your tech. Hey, if you're going to buy some shoes, you might just want to see it.
I'm going to go buy some right now.
Yeah,
buy some Nomad Tech Project.
That's it.
Right. We're gonna have Crocs.
Sneakers.
Sneakers.
Yes. I love it.
All right. Yeah. So for myself, for Joe, for Darren, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your tech. We love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay excellent. Be excellent, and we'll see you next Sunday on the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Love you guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.